Hello everyone, my name is Alexis and today we are interviewing the Bama legend. He is known for his passions, his knowledge, and his strong opinions when it comes to football. So tell me, what made you fall in love with football?
Well, I was born in Annapolis, Maryland, and my grandfather was a equipment manager for the Baltimore Colts. And I got to grow up around Bill Curry, Johnny Unitas, Raymond Berry, Bubba Smith, Mike Curtis, Daly, and I just fell in love with the game. And of course my daddy was from Alabama, and he was Alabama crimson and white through and through, so my first rattler was an Alabama rattler, and my first words was roll tide, not daddy or mama. So that kind of explains my origin of what I am. Some people say I'm an alien, some people say I was hatched, but there is a record of my birth, believe it or not.
Okay, so you are a true football legend. All right, so we're talking about the lineup today. Who do you think is the strongest player in the starting lineup and why?
The starting lineup's got to be Kip Keefer. He's a genius. He was the only man in Birmingham that had the kahunas to put me behind a mic. Everybody else thought that was a crazy idea. Hell, no, don't put legend with a mic. That's crazy. But Kip Keefer came along in his Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld genius mind and said, I think that'll work out. And it's worked out pretty good now. I've been working with Kip about 10 years, and he's definitely the guy that we look to. He's our Michael Jordan of our team, definitely.
Okay, we love to hear that.
We just keep Tony Curry around. Well, who knows why we keep him around.
Is there anything in the starting lineup that surprised you?
Tony Curry, he's got like this mind that you never know what he's going to say. You know, he might be talking about a wedding, he might be talking about, who knows? He's got one of those minds. I think he's an alien from Mars, I'm not sure. But he's got one of those minds where you never know what he's going to say. So it's always a challenge to do anything with Tony. He's like a sixth dimension guy or something. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. So how important is chemistry between the starters?
I think it's really good. We've worked at it hard over the years. You know, we've had our bumps and bruises and meetings and screaming matches, but I feel like the starting lineup is the most versatile group of individuals in sports today because we're all 100% real. We got no scripts, we got no bosses telling us what we can say and what we can't say. Kip always encouraged us to be ourselves and just let it fly. So the chemistry that we have built is a once-in-a-lifetime dynasty kind of chemistry.
Okay. To provide an authentic, unfiltered commentary of the local perspective on the biggest stories impacting the region, what is the primary goal for the starting lineup, and what are you bringing to Birmingham when it comes to the lineup?
We're bringing it real. You know, you get ESPN, you get Game Day, you know, you got people with teleprompters out there telling them folks what they can say, what they can't say. They can't really get real. They can't really say that Nick Saban's a hypocrite in Washington, D.C. because they might get fired for saying that, you know what I'm saying? But the legend can say, despite my love for Nick Saban, I can say that Nick Saban was a hypocrite in Washington, D.C. because I'm not worried about getting fired. Kip Keefer said I say whatever the hell I want to say. So there is the difference between our shows and other shows. Theirs are scripted. Those are told what they can say, what they can't say. With us, man, we just wild and crazy guys letting it fly every day. You know, we're just keeping it real, and that's what people want. People want to hear the real stuff. They don't want to hear the butter popcorn. They want to hear the real popcorn.
Okay, I love that. Real and authentic, and that's something that you always need when it comes to football.
Yeah, because you get so much fake in the media.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to tell the truth. Everybody wants to sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we love Nick Saban. No, Nick Saban was a hypocrite in Washington. I love Nick Saban, but he was a hypocrite up there in Washington. So tell it like it is, and the folks will love you. And a lot of folks hate me. I got a lot of hate mail this morning because what I said on Paul Feinbaum's show about Nick Saban. But that comes along with the territory. When you're real, everybody ain't gonna love you. That's just the way it is. Now, if you're a round noser and a power, everybody will love you. But if you're real, you're gonna have haters. But the haters are what makes you. That's what makes you who you are.
And so we talk a lot about being real and having a lot of people that hate you for being real. How do you take the criticism when it comes to that, and how do you feel about people hating you for being real when it comes to football?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Without the haters, you would be nothing. Paul Feinbaum is famous because of his haters. Russ Limbaugh was famous because of his haters. Mike and Mad Dog was famous because of their haters. Without haters, you'll never be famous in sports. Every time somebody tells me how much they hate me, I said, I appreciate you, brother. Keep on hating, because without you, there's no legend, man. If everybody loved the legend, nobody would want to hear from the legend. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted. And that's where we are today in the media. A lot of this stuff you see on TV and radio, we done heard a million times.
Right.
What makes the starting lineup different, you never know what you might hear on the starting lineup.
Okay.
There is the realness.
Right. I love that. I have one more question for you. If you could have dinner with 3 football legends, who would they be and why?
That's a good one.
Alive or past?
It can be either or.
Okay, first I'll have Nick Saban, and I would be saying, Nick, please forgive me. I don't know what happened to me this week. I don't know what happened, Nick. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm sorry. I lost my mind. The second person I think would be Vince Lombardi, and the third person would be Bear Bryant. I would just want to sit there, eat my salad and chicken pot pie, and enjoy my meal, and not say a word, and listen to greatness speak.
Okay.
It would be fantastic.
All right, well, everyone, we have the Bama legend here who speak nothing but authenticness and realness, and this is the end of our interview. I thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, nice lady. I enjoyed it.
Of course. All right, Bama legend, tell them where they can find you at.
I am the legend, the 6-time Paul Feinbaum Caller of the Year. You can find me on the X at the Legend 120 139. You can also hear me every Saturday morning on Jocks from 8 to 10 on Game Time. And you can also see me every Saturday at 10:30 on ABC 3340. We are doing it big. Weekend domination. Kip Keefer Sports. Don't get no better than this.
You heard that. And I am Alexis Sharda, your model, your poet, your moderator, and interviewer. You can find me on all platforms at It's Alexis Sharda or just Alexis Sharda. Thank you again, Bama Legend, for having me, and I hope you enjoy the season.
I will.